Prime Minister Modi's mission Australia. Modi has now reached Melbourne, which is going to be the last destination of his Australia visit. A packed schedule awaits the PM, who is expected to hold a meeting with top CEOs and government officials. Modi's schedule for today includes a visit to the 161-year-old Melbourne cricket stadium. Modi and Australian PM Tony Abbott are expected to make an appearance here together with the 2015 World Cup trophy. Abbott will be hosting two events for Modi at the ground. This includes a reception of over 700 guests and later a dinner with 500 attendees. Prime Minister Modi on the last leg of his Australia visit. In fact, he addressed the Australian Parliament earlier this morning after reaching Canberra. He first paid a visit to the War Memorial and then addressed a joint session of Parliament. This was a rare honour that was bestowed on the Indian Prime Minister. Modi becomes the first Indian PM to do so. Prime Minister Modi addressed the Australian Parliament this morning, becoming the first Indian PM to do so. This was a rare honour bestowed in him by the Australian government. Modi becoming the third world leader to have been invited besides Xi Jinping and David Cameron. Here's a look at the 10 big takeaways.
We are united by the ideals of democracy. Today, as I stand in this temple of democracy, I consider nations such as ours to be blessed because democracy offers the best opportunity for the human spirit to flourish. It is the people of Australia who have made Australia what it is today. I beckon of democracy and rule of law. A nation that willingly leads the search of lost aircrafts, one of the most prosperous nations in the world, among the best in Human Development Index, a nation with some of the best cities in the world, some of the most productive farms and mines, some of its best universities and research centers, an advanced technology base, and a nation with great sporting skills. Australia evokes images not just of immense beauty, but also of a great quality of life. Since my government entered office, no region has seen more intense engagement on India's part than Asia-Pacific region, because we understand how deeply our future is linked to this region. India and Australia can play cricket hard with each other, and I suspect we will next month. But we see Australia as one of our foremost partners in the region. I was pleased to host Prime Minister Tony Abbott as my first state guest in September. Without strong regional institutions, India and Australia are members of several institutions that are critical for the region and the world. We should coordinate more closely in East Asia. Summit, G20, and the Indian Ocean Region Association. Honourable members, in our interconnected world, in these 6 months that we have been in office, we have moved forward thinking with ambition, acting with speed, seeking growth not just for growth, but to transform the quality of life of every Indian. I see Australia as a major partner in every area of our national priority. I see Australia as a major partner in every area of our national priority, providing skills and education to our youth, a roof over every head and electricity in every household, the most affordable health care for the most difficult disease, the next generation of infrastructure that does not take a toll on our environment, energy that does not cause our glaciers to melt, clean coal and gas, renewable energy or fuel for nuclear power, cities that are smart, sustainable and livable, villages that offer opportunities, agriculture that yields more, and farms that are better connected to markets, practices and technology that save water. We have a new mission for turning Made in India into a global name, just as computer in India is. Your source for world-class skills at home or for a manufacturing location abroad. India's development, demography and demand provide a unique long-term opportunity for Australia, and all in the familiar framework of democracy. There is no other example of this nature in the world. Indian investors too are coming here in growing numbers and commitments. We must also support the process of economic integration across the region and an open globe trading system that remains integrated. We must guard against regional trade initiatives becoming instrument of political competition. The ocean are our lifelines, but we worry about the access and security in our part of the world more than ever before. Our region has seen huge progress on the foundation of peace and stability, but we cannot take this for granted. Preserving it will be the most important task in the region. India and Australia can play their part in it by expanding our security cooperation and deepening our international partnerships in the region. Our shared challenges extend beyond our region. Terrorism has become a major threat for us all. In India, we have seen its face closely for 3 decades, and we see it with the clarity that comes with it. Terrorism is changing in character and expanding in its reach, Internet has made recruitment and call to violence self-generated. It also feeds off money laundering, drug trafficking, and arms smuggling. We have to deepen our bilateral security cooperation. But we need a comprehensive global strategy.
And before that speech, Tony Abbott welcomed Modi as a man leading an emerging superpower. Abbott was generous in his praise, calling Modi a man who was on a mission to change things around.
I have never seen any leader as rapturously received in this country as Prime Minister Modi has been. And that's not just by the 500,000 Australians of Indian descent, and not just because the former Chief Minister of Gujarat has never been a stranger to us, and at least this should mean that it never again will be 28 years till the next Prime Ministerial visit. If all goes to plan, and no one, if I may say so, has ever made the Indian bureaucracy perform as Prime Minister Modi did in Gujarat, by the end of next year, we will have a free trade deal with what is potentially the world's largest market.
Before his address in Parliament, Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with Tony Abbott in Canberra. The two leaders signed a series of pacts on social security, transfer of sentenced prisoners, combating narcotics, trafficking and developing police cooperation, along with cooperation in the field of arts and culture and tourism. Modi asked for easier access for Indian businesses in Australia. Prime Minister Modi also asked for India and Australia nuclear deal to be fast-tracked to facilitate the import of uranium to India.
Next priority for Australia is a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with India. If I may say so, this is a moment in time. This is the time to get this done. This is the time to turn the warm friendship between Australia and India, the long history that Australia and India have together, into something that will be meaningful, more meaningful for us and significant for the wider world.
It's going to be London next for Prime Minister Modi after New York and Sydney. BJP's Ram Madhav told Headlines today that a visit to London is on the cards, where Modi might unveil a statue of Gandhi in January next year. A public address on the lines of Madison Square Garden and Sydney's Alphonse Arena is also being planned. Ram Madhav said organisers are planning to get more than 1 lakh people to the event, and that special flights and trains are being arranged. It was a historic moment for Narendra Modi in Australia as he addressed the Australian Parliament. But while he focused on the issues of cooperation between the two nations and terrorism, Modi began on a lighter note. Take a look.
I'm the third head of the government you are listening to this week. I do not know how you are doing this. Maybe this is Prime Minister Abbott's way of circumventing you. We celebrate the legend of Bradman and the class of Tendulkar together. We are impressed by Australian speed as you charmed by the Indian spin until, of course, Shenwan came along.